and I'll do my best to go within 30 minutes because I do get excited and then I take a look at the clock and I'm like, oh my God, right? There's all of these things that I want to do, but I will try to put it all in the power little quickie for 30 minutes. So now today we are focusing, there's Lisa just right on time. We are focusing on the glutes and the hips, right? So having strong glutes and the hips gives us, hello, Lisa. Hello, good to have you.
Thank you, Maya. Thanks for the link.
Awesome. Good to have you.
Hey, Callie. Sorry, I just seen Callie's here. Oh my gosh, girl. How are you?
I'll catch you up. I'll message you after this.
Yes, Callie, she's famous, so everybody wants to talk to her. I'm like, all right. So today we're focusing on the glutes and the hips, and again, having strong glutes and strong hips gives us power in everyday movement, right? So it gives us power in helps us in a gait, helps us to prevent low back injuries and any low back pain that we might experience. And as well, if you know somebody who's running and, runners often have IT band issues. They often have shin splits. So that's all from having weak hips, right? So yeah. All right. So we're going to focus today on the hips. Let's start standing nice and tall. Welcome, everyone. So happy to have you here. All right. So let's start standing nice and tall. And again, I'll be really mindful about the time. I'm really bad with the time. So I'll jam everything into 30 minutes. All right. Let's stand nice and tall. Have your feet hip distance. And again, when we're talking about the hip distance, it's usually these little pokey parts at the front, right? Very interesting how we perceive our body. When I teach men would do this, right? When I teach women would do this hip distance, right? So your hips are not that big, it's smaller, right? So right there where these sticky spots at the front of the hips are. All right, let's have the arms down at your sides. And just for a moment, notice the feet underneath you and just notice where you're holding the weight in your feet, right? So again, no right or wrong, no need to fix anything, just notice. Is it more towards the heels or toes? More towards the outside edges of your feet, more inside edges of your feet? Just notice. All right, together here, we're going to take a deep inhale. Sweep your arms overhead, deep inhale. And then long exhale, arc the arms down at your sides. And again, take a deep inhale, you sweep. And then long exhale, one more time. Deep inhale, you sweep. And then long exhale, arc the arms down at your sides. All right, sorry, I'm just gonna let a few people in. Oh, there's Robin, Stasha. All right, awesome. Okay, so arc the arms down at your sides. And then from here, both palms on top of your thighs, we're gonna go into the squat. Little squat, come nice and tall. Little squat, come nice and tall. A little squat, nice and tall. Right, so we're focusing on the hips and we're focusing on the glutes today. Welcome, Robin. Welcome, Stash. Good. All right, so I'm going to turn sideways here that you can see I'm hinging forward a little bit, right, rather than this. Right, so you want to think here, ankles, knees, and hips flexing at the same time. Ankles, knees, and hips flexing at the same time. All right, we're gonna add one more cue, take it or leave it, right? Yeah. Sometimes it resonates, sometimes it does not. Think about shins going over the toes as you squat. Shins over the toes, right? So it will give you a little bit more flexibility in the ankles. Okay, so warming up the major joints of the legs, and now we're gonna go a little bit into the hips. All right, we're gonna add on. As you squat, you're gonna come nice and tall. You're gonna put one leg back behind, back into your squat, the other leg back behind. So it's called skaters. There's gonna be a little bit of balancing here. Keep your arms down at your sides or on your hips, or if you want a little bit more balancing, you're gonna have your arms into a T. All right, so we're pulling the leg back behind diagonal, and see if you can feel right away this little tiny muscle, side hip, side bum. See if you can feel it firing up right away. Right, this is a great exercise. Again, if you're sitting a lot at the desk and you're kind of like, I want to stretch my hips, I'm gonna ask you, I'm gonna invite you to first think about strengthening and then stretching, right? Because stretching can destabilize low back, pelvis, and hips, and down the road can take us to a little bit maybe more pain, right? So we don't want that. All right, so we're going diagonal, diagonal squat, diagonal skaters. All right, let's go here for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Come into your little squat. Can you lift your heels? Drop your heels, lift your heels, drop your heels. And again, lifting of the heels. Each time you lift the heels, the calf muscle acts as a pump, right? So it pumps blood all the way up the legs, all the way up, and it's like, you know, a little bit more circulation, gives it a little bit more circulation. All right, next time, as you lift your heels, hold, press a little bit more into your big toes, come nice and tall, inhale, as you exhale, lower down. All right, feet are still hip distance. Place the fingertips in the creases of your hips. So I'm just going to turn sideways, you can see. Fingertips in the creases of your hips, little micro bend in the knees. We're gonna hinge forward. Come nice and tall. Hinge forward. Nice and tall. Right, so a little bit of mobility through the hips. Think here, you're sending your sit bones back in space as you hinge. Back in space as you hinge. So as you come up, your glutes, your hamstrings are lifting you up. Glutes and hamstrings are lifting you up. All right, so this is a great exercise for the glutes and hamstrings, but also for the pelvic floor as we hinge forward. All right, a couple of more times. Well, for some of you who've been to my classes, my regular classes, when I say couple, it's never a couple. I have a problem with counting. All right, let's come nice and tall. And then if you're using mat, come somewhere at the edge of your mat. We're gonna do a little bit of roll-ups, roll down just for the spine, and then we're gonna go down onto the mat. All right, take a deep inhale, reach your arms overhead. As you exhale, dive forward, round the spine, really round the spine. Bend the knees. Find your forward fold. Inhale as you exhale, press equally to the both feet. Keep your knees bent, keep your abdominals in, and very slowly stack your spine, one vertebra at a time. One more time, take a deep inhale, you reach. As you exhale, you dive forward, round the spine, bend the knees. Find your forward fold. Inhale. As you exhale, press equally to the both feet and really slowly stack your spine, one vertebra at a time. All right, one more time. Take a deep inhale, you reach. As you exhale, you dive forward, round the spine, bend the knees, and then come down onto your mat. We're gonna swing the legs in front. So swing your legs in front. You're gonna sit nice and tall. All right, so nice and tall. And then from here, you're gonna move any fleshy points away from your sit bones, right? So have your arms nice and long. Good, I'm just gonna see if I can, good, all right, so sitting nice and tall. Move any fleshy parts away from your sit bones. We're gonna point the toes and then flex the feet. Point the ankles, point the toes, flex the feet. One more time, point, hold your point, reach your arms in front, take a deep inhale. As you exhale, we're gonna curl the tailbone pubic bone. So notice here, the movement's coming from the bottom of the spine. C-curve spine, hollow the abdominals, and then really slowly, one vertebra at a time, lower all the way down. I'm counting 60, 59, 58. I'm just joking, just come all the way down onto your back body. Good. All right, let's bend the knees and arc the arms down at your sides. All right, so from here, arc the arms down at your sides. We're gonna tip the left knee towards the chest. And then lower the foot down. Tip your right knee towards the chest. Lower the foot down. Right, so Going here, you might notice that the low back is rounding as you're tipping the knee towards the chest to let it round. So what this does, this sets the thigh bone back into the hip socket so we can work with the hips and pelvis. Right? So just let the low back round as you tip your knee towards your chest. So just alternating between the right and left. All right, let's do one more time each side. Little tip and little tip. And then place both palms down, both feet down onto the floor. Feet are hip distance, arch the arms down at your sides. Find your neutral spine. Take a deep inhale as you exhale, curl the tailbone, press into your feet equally, and then really slowly peel the spine. Come up into your bridge. Take a deep inhale at the top. As you exhale, slowly massaging your spine, lower your hips down. And again, inhale as you exhale, curl the tailbone towards your belly button. Or here you can think hip bones towards the ribs. Press equally to the both feet and then really slowly peel the spine, one vertebra at a time. Come into your bridge. Take a deep inhale at the top. As you exhale, slowly massaging your spine, lower all the way down. One more time. Inhale as you exhale, curl the tailbone, press into your feet equally, and then really slowly peel the spine, come into your bridge. We're gonna hold the bridge here. Think about this, the diagonal line from the breastbone towards the knees. We're reaching the knees over the toes. Can you lift your heels? Drop your heels, lift your heels, drop your heels, and lift, and drop, and lift, and drop. All right, a couple more times, lifting and lowering the heels. As you lift your heels, can you press a little bit more into your big toes? Next time, as you lift your heels, we're gonna hold here. Little tiny pulses of the hips, little tiny pulse. All right, so see here, if you can really pay attention to your glutes. Can you relax your glutes, right? The glutes will squeeze naturally as you're pulsing up. Do your best to kind of like squeeze them really hard, right? So very, very nice and relaxed. We're pulsing here for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Let's hold. Drop your heels, hold your bridge. All right, we're gonna heel to the feet in. So we're on the bridge. You're gonna have your feet, inner edges of the feet together, big toes down on the floor. Arc the arms down at your sides. We're gonna open the knees to the side, and then gonna squeeze the knees back in. Inhale, you open. Exhale, squeeze back in, right? So each time you open the knees to the sides, can you keep your big toes down onto the floor, right? Do not let the feet roll open with the knees. So I'm hoping right away you can feel a little bit of side hip, right? Side bone working, a little bit of glute, a little bit of hamstring here. As you're opening your knees and as you're closing, can you notice, are both legs traveling equally at the same time, right? Or maybe one leg is kind of like opening a little bit faster than the other. That's okay, no judgment, right? But just notice here. All right, we're going slow. Inhale as you open, exhale as you squeeze back in. Inhale, you open, exhale, squeeze back in. One more time, let's open the knees, hold. Little tiny pulses here of the pelvis. We're going up, so knees are wide, big toes down to the floor. We're pulsing here for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1.5, for 1, you hold. Squeeze the knees back in together, heel to the feet out, back hip distance. Can you lift your heels? Drop your heels, lift your heels, drop your heels, and lift and drop. One more time, lift and hold. Little tiny pulses back up. Small pulsing, keep pressing into your big toes. We're pulsing for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1, you hold. All right, we're gonna lower the heels down. You're gonna press into your right heel. So right heel, back of the left shoulders. Those are your anchor points. Right heel, back of the left shoulder, fold at the left, you bring the left knee into tabletop. All right, point your toe, flex the foot, point the ankle, point the toe, flex the foot. One more time, point, hold your point. You're gonna dip your left toes down, pull the knee back in. Inhale, you dip your toe, exhale, drag back in, right? So right side is working, right glute, right hamstring. Can you keep pressing into your anchor point, your right heel back of the left shoulder? One more time, we're gonna dip the toe, pull the knee back and hold. Can you lift your right heel, drop your heel, lift your heel, drop your heel, and lift, and drop, and lift, and drop. One more time, lift the heel, hold here. Little tiny pulses of the hips here. Heel is nice and high. We're pulsing for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Hold. Can you feel your right glute working? Inhale. As you exhale, lower the heel. Inhale. As you exhale, slowly lower the left foot. We're still in the bridge. Let's switch the side. All right, so really keep pressing into these anchor points. It's going to keep your hips nice and stable. All right, let's press into the left heel, back of the right shoulder, bring the right knee into tabletop. Point your toe, flex the foot. Point the ankle, point the toe, flex the foot. One more time, point, hold your point. We're gonna dip the right toes down, pull the knee back in. Inhale, you dip, dip, dip. Exhale, drag back in, go slow. Keep pressing into your left heel. Can you pull your hips a little bit higher up? All right, one more time. We're gonna dip the toe, pull the knee back and hold. Let's lift the left heel, drop the heel, lift the heel, drop your heel and lift, and drop, and lift, and drop. One more time, lift the heel, hold. Little tiny pulses here. We're going up, up. So it's almost like you're poking the ceiling with your right knee. We're pulsing for 4, 3, 2, 1. You hold. Drop your heel. Inhale. As you exhale, slowly with control and gracefully lower the right foot down. We're still in the bridge. Can you lift your hips a little bit higher up? Little tiny pulses of the hips here. Small little pulsing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You hold. Inhale. As you exhale, slowly massaging your spine, lower your hips down. All right, keep your feet just a hip distance. We're gonna tip the knees to one side, come back to the center, tip your knees to the other side, come back to the center. Right, so as you're tipping your knees, see if you can think about your low back and the pelvis as a flat board, as one unit, moving as one unit, right? Without any twisting through the pelvis. It's not wrong, right? Nothing is right or wrong, but this way we're just keeping SI joints a little bit more happier, right? As you're tipping the knees. So the tipping of the knees will be a little bit smaller. All right, so next time as you tip to one side, you're gonna come all the way onto that side, all the way onto that side. And then from here, you can have a little, maybe a little bicep for your pillow, or if you want, you can just have the whole pillow underneath. You're working at home. So just make yourself comfortable. We're gonna be here a while. All right, so have your knees stacked, hips stacked, heels in the same line with the glutes. Right? So in the same line with the glutes. As you're lying down on the side, notice your bottom ribs. Can you keep lifting your bottom ribs up and away from the floor? Keep your heels glued together. We're gonna open the top knee. Close back in. And open. Close back in. Right, so be very, really careful about your top hip, right? So you wanna keep the top hip facing forward as you're opening the knee, without this kind of like, I'm exaggerating here, right? So form, very important, right? So think about pressing your pelvis forward as you open the knee. And so we want to have the hips stacked. You're opening and closing all the way down to meet your bottom leg. Can you exhale as you open the knee? Can you inhale as you close? Exhale as you open. Inhale as you close all the way down. Keep squeezing your heels as you open the knee. Keep squeezing your heels as you close back, right? So we're giving ourselves a little bit of more, it's almost like you have, you know, those like little bands around. Yeah, so it's almost like that. We're just giving ourselves a little bit more resistance here. Okay. Keep on going. All right, so right away, we're tapping into the side hip muscle. Super, super important again for the low back stability, hip stability, for the gait, for the balance as well. Okay. Couple of more, I promise. All right, next time as you lift your leg up, hold. Can you open your knee a little bit more? From there, we're gonna pulse back, a little pulsing. So it's almost like you're catching your leg with your side hip muscle, with your side bump. Keep pulsing back, 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 back for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. You hold. We're gonna angle the top foot, angle your top foot, and then kind of dangle your foot. We really wanna keep the foot heavy and relaxed. Keeping your hips and pelvis stable, we're gonna knock the knees and then knock the heels. Knock your knees, knock your heels. All right, so again, we're turning the thigh bone in the hip socket, but keeping the pelvis and the hips nice and stacked, right? Without movement through the hips, through the low back and the pelvis. Tony, toes and knees. Great exercise to add mobility for the hip, but at the same time strengthening of the hip and a little bit of proprioceptive movement, because we kind of like have to think, where's the other foot, right? So where's the other heel? Keep on going, go slow. We're making a rainbow shape with the knee. All right. Okay, next time, as you knock your heels, we're gonna hold there. So knock your heels back, again, open the knee a little bit more. Tiny little pulses here. Aha, side bump working, side hip for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. You hold. You're gonna lift both feet up. So bottom knee down, feet are up, feet are together. So bottom knee down. You're gonna close the top knee, open up, and close, and open, and close, and open, and close, and open, hoping you can feel your side hip working here. Aha. Right, so we're working to fatigue of the muscle, and you're kind of like, I can't do anymore. Do one more. That's where the strength is happening. All right, let's lift the top knee, hold. Little tiny pulses here. You're catching your leg with the side hip muscle. 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. Lower the feet and then lower the knee down. Right, give it a little high five, thank you, leg. Free arm in front, the floor, press up. We're gonna switch the sides, right? So just a little transition to keep the spine nice and happy, right? It took like five years for my husband to let him know, please don't wake up like this, right? Go onto your side, come up, right? Just for the spine. All right, so you're gonna come on all the way onto the other side and have your bicep just as a pillow for the head, or a real pillow, right? So bend your knees. The knees are bent, hips are stacked, heels are back towards the glutes, so in the same line with the glutes. And see if you can lift the bottom waist and bottom ribs off the floor. Keep your heels glued together. We're gonna open the top knee and then close back down. And again, a little open and close. So you can have your free arm on top of your hip, right? So just as a little tactile feedback as you're opening the knee, noticing if you're rolling your hip open, right? Think again, pressing your pelvis forward as you open the knee. So you might notice there's a spot where the leg cannot go any further, that's great. Right, so it's not actually a big movement. Right, keep on going. A little open, and then close all the way down to meet your bottom knee, bottom leg. Keep squeezing your heel. Right, so one side, notice if there's any difference between the right and left leg, right and left hip. Maybe one is firing quicker than the other, right? Maybe one takes a little bit more encouragement, right? So just notice, again, no judgment, just noticing difference between the right and left, between dominant and non-dominant side. All right. Next time, as you lift your knee, you're gonna hold there. Keep your heels glued together. Open the knee a little bit more. Little tiny pulses here. Little tiny pulse and pulse. And pulse. For 4. Ooh, for 3. For 2. And 1, you hold. All right, we're gonna unglue the top foot. Dangle your foot. Dangle, dangle, dangle. Foot is nice and relaxed. Keep your hips and the pelvis stable. We're gonna knock the knees, knock your heels, knock your knees, knock your heels, right? So really, really be careful here. Pay close attention to your top hip. Top hip does not move. Pelvis, low back stable. All right, so internal rotation of the thigh bone as you knock your knees, external as you knock your heels. A little mini rainbow shape with your knee. Go slow and knock and knock. And knock. Can you feel your side hip working? Your glutes working here. All right, and knock and knock. All right, one more time. We're gonna knock the heels, hold. Can you open your knee a little bit more? A little tiny pulse in here. Small little pulse. Open, open, open for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1, you hold. We're gonna lift both feet up, heels are together, bottom knee down. You're gonna close the knee. Open up, right? So same thing, but now feet are up in the air. So just for the leg to work a little bit more here. And close, and open, and close, and open, and close, and open. One more time, close, and open, hold. A little tiny pulses here with the top leg. Ooh, small little pulse for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1, hold. Lower the feet, and then lower the leg down. Give it a little high five. All right, let's come onto the back body. I'm just gonna turn this way. For some reason, I like this way better. All right, so onto your back body. Arm arms down at your sides. Feet are hip distance. Let's take a deep inhale as you exhale, curl the tailbone, press into your feet equally through the both feet, and then slowly peel the spine, come back into your bridge. All right, from bridge, we're gonna heel to the feet out. It's called kind of like second position. So the heels will be on the mat. If you have mats, the toes will be off. So there's gonna be a little bit of external rotation. Heels are close towards the glutes. So wide knees, arms down at your sides. All right, can you lift your heels? Drop your heels, lift your heels, drop your heels, and lift, and drop, and lift, and drop, and lift, and drop. One more time, lift your heels, fold. All right, we're gonna tap the knees back. So you're gonna tap open, open. You're tapping the knees towards your shoulders. Can you feel your side hip working here, your glutes and hamstrings? We're tapping open, open, open. 3, 2, 1.5. 1, hold. Drop your heels, lift your heels, drop your heels, and lift, and drop, and lift and drop and lift. One more time, drop and lift and hold. Inhale. As you exhale, lower the heels. Heel toe the feet, back hip distance. Another inhale. As you exhale, slowly lower your upper back, then your mid back, then your low back, and pelvis touch the floor. Keep your knees bent, your feet hip distance, gentle tip of the knees to the side. Come back to the center, gentle tip of the knees to the other side. And center, inhale, you tip. Exhale, center, inhale, you tip. Exhale, center, couple of more times each way. And again, as you tip to one side, turn all the way onto that side, and we're gonna do everything back again. I'm just joking. Come up into the seated position. All right, as you come into your seated position, you're gonna come onto your hands and knees. So come onto your hands and knees, and then come up into a high kneeling position, right? So noticing here, pick the leg that it's a little bit weaker or your non-dominant leg. I'm gonna pick my left side because left side is a little bit not so strong as the right. So a little bit weaker or non-dominant leg goes forward. Tuck your back toes, press into your heel, front heel, come up. Ta-da, nice. Good. Feet are hip distance. And just see if you can arc the arms down at your sides. Noticing, see if you notice the side hip muscle, your glutes maybe a little bit more on fire. All right, let's take a deep inhale, circle the arms around, deep inhale, sweep. And then long exhale, and again, deep inhale, you sweep. A long exhale, one more time, inhale, you reach. And then arc the arms down at your side. And just for one moment, close the eyes. Come back to your breath. Notice your heartbeat. Acknowledge yourselves for showing up. Notice the feet underneath you. And then gently blink your eyes open. You're all done. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me grab my glasses. I do not see a single thing on my glasses. Thank you. Well, I hope you felt a little bit more burn in your glutes and your hips.
Oh yeah.
And yeah. All right, awesome.
Thank you for that.
Awesome. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Good to have you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Robin.
Yeah.
Robin.
Oh my gosh, Robin. Yeah, my hips are on fire. Hey, Robin, quick question for you, Maya, just because I'm heading into the school year. Are you continuing to do your Pilates in the group on Mondays, or is it going to change, or how are you planning that?
Great question. Yes, as we are all transitioning into fall, right? The schedule might change a little bit. I am hoping I will keep the Mondays. The Mondays might be 8:30 though, because I do have another private client at this time in February. If not, I can write a poll in the Facebook group and see if any time work better. What would work for you?
Oh gosh, you know what? I mean, I could somehow do noon in my office at school, but there's not a lot of room. I've got a very tiny office. So honestly, anytime either before, like morning or after school, evening would be great.
Right.
But I'm just one voice, but I'll give my vote.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you.
See you. Take care, Maya. Bye.
Thank you too. Bye. Thank you.